Hi, this is Richard Price from Digital 360, and this is a video showing you how the web forms work and how they're created and certain aspects of the code that sits behind it. So as you can see here, it's showing this web form that we've created for new leads, which is embedded in the CRM system. This can operate as a standalone. So if I go into here, so you can see that this is outside of the CRM and it can operate just the same. So what you can see here is that you've got fields, the name fields, and those things. What's important is then there's the integration with address finder. So here when you type in or start typing an address, it'll come up with a suggestion. You select that suggestion and it pre-populates those fields. There are three hidden fields down here, one for GPS, one for DPID, and I think that's deposit plan ID, and then there's also a third field called mesh blocks. Okay, now that is captured by this form and sent through to the CRM. So if I complete this, so you can see here that the ones with asterisks are required fields. We can govern what ones are required and what ones aren't. So those are the required fields. I go submit, and at the moment we've got it so that all it does is it goes back to the same form. And we can govern where it lands, okay? So that's in the code as well. So if I go through to the CRM system, I can come back into leads. I just do a refresh, and there was the one that I've just created. Okay, it's got the address, and if I scroll down to the bottom here, I've got the GPS coordinates, I've got the DPID, and I've got the mesh block. Okay, so those can be used independently. So that's how we do it. Now, let's just go into the actual code itself. So if I go in and I show you this, we use CodePen to create this. So you can see that there's two files, there's an HTML and there's a JS, so JavaScript. The HTML part here is generated by Zoho. So what we do is we can just go into the CRM system, into here, we go into web forms, and we've created a web form. This particular one here is leads from CC to CS. Okay, so it's this part of it is drag and drop. You'll notice down here these are the hidden fields, and this is a field that we need in order to be able to tell where the web form has come from. Okay, so you got that. Go to the next one. This is the location of the actual form itself. I usually put a wildcard in there. You can do that. A landing page. This is where it actually returns back to after it finishes. And this is what we can change in here. And then who the default user is, etc. And you can see that we can then create notifications not only to the CRM user, so this could be a notification to a store or whatever, and if we click onto that, there's actually a number of things that we can do. We can also then do up here, we can choose assignment rules and all that sort of stuff as well. And we can also then send an acknowledgement to the person that filled out the form, etc. So if that is a web form on web page, then you can do that. you can do all sorts of other things in there. So then what it does is it spits out code. Now, of course, you can actually do iframe embed, but if we use the source code, we just simply go into here, copy it, and that's actually what we then use in this here. So it's virtually just pasted into here. Now you can see here that there's a few things. So for example, what I've done is I've just put a banner up here as just one image. So it's a static image there. So you can see that pretty much you can do that. You'll see some notes in here. So there is some note code. And then really what we need to ensure is that this particular information here, as well as this, that under the do not change this code, and you can see that it comes to there. Then you've got your styles. You can start changing those kind of things, and you can go through. Now this stuff becomes a bit more tricky. You can change them so that you can change the way in which the field boxes look, the spacing and the name, and you can do multiple columns. I've just got it in one column going down the page, but just be very careful in terms of things like the name. These, well, even this, you can change the field name. Now, notice that this one here, it's got red styling because this is a required field. There's actually script that runs once it gets executed. So the script is down here. So this is the validation that gets run once you hit that. So in other words, anything that is a required field, etc., formatting is done in there. So if you can just be a bit careful about that script code there as well. But as I said, you've got all this other code in here where there are options in the drop downs. You've got those in there. Now, one of the reasons why you just got to be very careful about these names here is that it actually flows on through to the JavaScript on the right hand side here. So it does pull the names from one to the other, and so we've just got to be mindful that these correspond with these over here, etc. And yeah, so we've got this. So this is just a script that pulls the data from Address Finder and populates it into here, so that I can now go down here and I can actually see what the result is, etc. And it populates this through, and I can actually run tests and so forth directly from here. So yeah, that's what we've got. Oh, I just noticed that mesh block. Yeah, that's better. It shouldn't be showing. So I can save that. So I'm going to export that through as two different files, and then you can run with that. So yeah, as I said, the stuff on the right generated initially by the CRM, and then you can manipulate. There's certain code in there that you can't touch. The JavaScript, once again, needs to be governed rather tightly because it is dependent on both the field names, field references from Zoho, as well as the field references from Address Finder. So you've got that particular side of things. And then from here, it leads from CC to CS that we are currently using for that particular one. You can see that we've created other ones, for example, for website contact us, for call center, which is a stripped down version, and then there's another one for Curtain Studio that I can send through to you as well. If you've got any further questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.